So that's what my dear friend was frightened of. I could never do that. Now, I'm not going to ask you to put your hands up, but I bet it's reasonable to assume that there might have been at least one person here who found that they thought about something other than just rested their mind on the breath. Okay. In fact, what's often said, especially if you're doing this for the first time, is that you might think, oh, meditation is quite bad for me because it seemed to speed my mind up and I thought I was going crazy. And one way of thinking about that is it's somewhat like driving along in a car on the expressway, and then you have to get out from the car and you stand, and suddenly you notice, wow, that traffic is going really fast. Not having realized that just a minute ago you were in that traffic. So if you had the experience there just in 7 breaths of thinking, oh my God, I'm really losing it, just have a little sense of like, oh, you're losing it all the time. So there is a little method that we apply here, and I'm going to just mention that. We'll try one more time, which is that there is an amazing natural intelligence in the mind. And after a while, it notices, oh, I was just in Chicago, or I just murdered my mother-in-law. And at that moment, that's the natural intelligence going, wow. And the instruction is very simple. You just come back to the breath. This is where it gets really disappointing, folks. You don't have to beat yourself up. There's no analysis. You just follow that natural intelligence of the mind, which wants to be clearer, wants to be stable. You just come back to the breath. Okay? Now, I'll let you in on not much of a secret these days. You keep on having to do this. And it goes on and on and on. But the powerful thing is it's just like, basically it's like going to the gym. You have to keep on and on doing this and this and all those sort of things. That's what you look in a gym, everybody is basically doing incredibly repetitive activity. I mean, there is nothing that's not repetitive. I remember I was in a hotel, and this is a digression, because you can see my mind is spinning, but I hope you'll enjoy it. I was in this hotel in India, and I was trying to send an email message, and I managed to send my message, and as I passed this little cubicle, a German businessman hit send, and his message disappeared. So he shouted, for the Indian hotel sort of worker to come and help him. And the guy, yes, sir, and he says that I shouldn't imitate. I've got Indian clothes on. I shouldn't imitate the accent as well. But at any rate, he says, yes, sir. He says, I've lost my message. And he said, you will have to. You can send it again, sir. He says, you mean I can just send it again, or do I have to type it again? I said, no, you just type it and send it again. I'm not going to do it again. And for some strange reason, I was passing him. I was right behind him. And I never met this man in my life, or since. And I just was drawn to this man's agony, and I leaned over and I put my hand over his shoulder, right over his heart and lungs, and I said, if you weren't doing some very important things in there over and over and over again, you'd be dead. Oh. So, just speaking up on behalf of repetitive activity, here known as meditation. So we're going to try this one more time, just briefly, but just see, as a little brief introduction here, to this quality of that the mind has this natural wish and natural ability to settle. It becomes clearer This natural intelligence shines through, and we just have to notice that. That's when we notice we've drifted off, and just come back. And we'll do that for just a few breaths together. Don't worry, I will not leave you hanging out there with your breath for a long, long time. So please sit up. Feel relaxed in the spine. Make sure that the jaw isn't jutting forward. Eyes are open. Feel the breathing. Try to feel the physical sensation of the breathing. You can even emphasize it if you want, so that you're very, very clear, that's what my mind returns to, this physical feeling in the belly or the chest.